So I have gone through and added a couple more components here. I'm actually going to create the last one, which is a pseudo-homophone condition. This is the 93% correct AI version. And once again, you're going to see this error crop up. It just thinks for some reason, oh, I must want to be naming, the last HTML, the last component, basically the last linked file to this new name. But no, I don't want that. I want, obviously, a new file name. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Hopefully this is still viewable. Just so you can see when new components are added in, they are added in towards the end. So I'm going to shuffle the order around, and that is going to be important in a little while, because as you can see, as I'm changing the number right now is 19, and then I slide it up here, and now it is in slot 14. We have 15 and 16. I'm going to move this one away, which I don't want. And actually, since deleting a component, I'm going to go over here to More and then Delete. All it does, it will remove any results that are saved internally in your jatos server, but I don't need that. These are just test versions here. It doesn't remove the associated HTML file, so I just deleted those, IL illegal nonwords version 2, legal nonwords version 2, and I can always just re-upload and create those components. So right now, I'm just going to get rid of those so this looks a little bit more clean. And then I can zoom in again. So now my components are in the order that I want them here, and this is essentially just for organization. But there are elements inside of HTML and specifically the jatos code that I'm going to show you here. So this last one that I added in, pseudo-homophones AI93, I'm going to jump down to the bottom here, and you're going to see that in this HTML file, I have a command. It starts here, jatos upload result file. So this uploads the actual result, the result file. This actually uploads our interaction data, which is what a participant did when they clicked around the page. It includes a few browser actions, like if the browser goes full screen or exits full screen mode, that's going to be recorded here. But then what it does is once it's hit this step, it also follows up and basically runs these two codes. So it attempts to start the next jatos component by a specific position. If that doesn't work, it uploads. It creates a local save of the data, so the participant has that and can say, "Hey, I have an error," and then they would email us. But this is what we're interested in here. This jatos start component by position. So when it says position 10 here, that is going to, when this component, this is the one we're looking at, which is number 15 right now, finishes, it's going to jump to component 10. And the component I wanted that to go to, or the component it previously went to before I added in and moved all of these other components around, so before we added in a bunch more, was our demographics. So since we added in 6 more conditions, this used to be up here in position 10, position 10 like that, but now obviously this is in position 16. So I am going to change the code in all these to move to start the next component in position 16 when they finish. So I'm going to have to go through and do that for each one. Now, I don't technically have to do that. I like doing that in the sense that it makes sense for me to organize my experiments in this kind of linear fashion like this. I could keep the demographics in component 10, and then simply when the demographics finish, have them start component 17 by position, which would move them to the end page, which is where the participant should go. Because currently, if this file is open, it's not, but I'll open it now. The lexical demographics right here runs a survey, participants answer questions. It ends with the code. Where is it here? Right. So after we submit the result data here, there's a secondary function at the end of this code, which is jatos start next component. And start next component just goes to the next active component in your study by order. So if this is position 16, it's going to go to position 17 as long as this is active. If I deactivate it, the experiment would just end from there because there's no component afterwards. So I'm going to go through and change these. So this is done internally in your HTML file. You don't change the ordering or where you can change the ordering within your local Jatos kind of experiment page here, but you can't actually edit the HTML components in here. So I'm going to go into these. Here's where I was before, and I'm going to just change this component to jump to 16. And now, obviously, if I was going to go in file by file and type that, it really wouldn't take that long because it's just one line here. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and then one of the reasons why I like this Atom code editor is I know that this line of code exists, start component by position 10, in essentially any of my other files. So first I'm going to save this. I just hit Command S to save. Then I'm just going to jump to the next one. It immediately finds this down at the bottom, and I just hit replace, and it's done. So this takes about, with this moment, this version, right? It just switched this one there. You don't actually have to do the find command there. This is going to take me, just a second to go through all these. I have essentially all of them open, and I'm going to go through and edit those so they're all jumping into the right condition. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that, and then I'll pick up the video when I go back to the sort conditions version, which will also shed a little bit more light on why, particularly, at least for me, it makes sense to have all of these ordered in this continuous fashion. When we use the sort condition, which is an HTML file, that's going to randomize a participant to one of these component numbers.